here is what we've learned from the CEO of JP Morgan. And he's suggesting Iran must be defeated, even if it wrecks the stock market. Here is what he said, Richard.
Market, look, the markets are unpredictable, and it's hard for me to tell you exactly what. But I think they're just looking at, is there a chance something can go wrong? Now, we should all hope nothing goes wrong. We should all hope that these bad people are, that we win this thing and clean up the straits, and that Iran is no longer a threat to everybody. And but the markets will be concerned until it's over. But I think it's very important. It's much more important that this be successfully completed than what the market does.
And that sounds like what the UAE and Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states are saying.
Yeah.
Finish this off the right way. They see the urgency here.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes. I hear some people say, they weren't an imminent threat. A threat means I'm threatening you, I might do something bad. These people have been doing something bad for 47 years. They've been killing people. They've been killing Americans. They funded that terrible Hamas thing. Several Americans were killed on October 7th. And so they've had proxy wars. They've been threatening people. I think people are surprised to find out that had a ballistic missile and go 3,000 miles. These are bad people.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you live in a world that has been reduced to the level of a comic book, then you can talk about world affairs in terms of good people and bad people. You ought to outgrow that when you're about 7. Around the time when you discover that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is a caricature and not an actual animal in your neighborhood. Watching Jamie Dimon talk like this should resolve a question that might be in a few people's mind. And here's the question. Are the people who dominate our economy any different, really, from Donald Trump? And the answer that you should have figured out already is no. The style is different. The polish is different. But Mr. Trump and those people are the same people. Mr. Trump likes to organize the world into good people and bad people. And if you listen to him for a while, you discover the people who like me turn out to be the good ones, and the people who don't turn out to be the bad ones. Now, look, I understand that's a standard. I could organize the world that way too. Everybody who likes Michael Hudson, I would call a good person. Everybody who doesn't like Michael Hudson, I would call a bad person. And then I could say really stupid things like, why haven't the President of the United States gotten rid of the bad people? Are you 4 years old? That's the world for you? You get rid of the bad people? The mentality here. I have to remind people the Persian culture is older than Christian and Judaic. Just so you know, they've been around. They've worked out their problems and their difficulties. They're complicated people, just like everybody else. And organizing them into good and bad, if we were honest, we would understand. That's a fascistic mentality that reduces complexity to the kind of simplicity that will now allow large numbers of people to be killed on the grounds, get ready, they're bad people. The thousands who have died in Tehran from the indiscriminate, and that's what it's been, bombing, what are those, all bad people? Really? What you're doing? It's embarrassing. This level of discourse is embarrassing. But it goes with being the head of a big bank. Your job is to make money. Everything else is unimportant. And so you end up not understanding anything else and going with whatever seems to be consistent with your position as the head of a big bank. Pathetic is the only word to describe it. And I might mention, for those of you that do not know, right now in Canada, Mr. Carney is very popular, because he was critical of Mr. Trump. But not about these kinds of issues. On the question of bombing the crap out of Iran, Mr. Carney is all in. The majority of Canadians answer every poll like the majority of Americans, they're against the war. But Mr. Carney, a banker, like Mr. Diamond, a banker, that's how the world is. Bad people that the good American military are punishing.
Mm-hmm.
This is the mentality of our leaders, and we ought to understand what it means that we allow them to be our leaders when they demonstrate such a screaming incapacity for the position they hold.
And they funded that Hamas thing and maybe we can clean up the straits and they've been trying to do something bad. They try to do something bad to us.